What's going on, Canes fans and my college football family? Welcome to another episode of Late Night Thoughts with Coop. Your boy Coop cannot sleep, so what I've decided to do during the off season is just press the record button and we hang out and we chat for a few minutes to pass the time. And then hopefully your boy Coop can pass out immediately after this video. So there's no edits, no fancy stuff, no high energy. We're just chilling and we're just talking for a few minutes. The reason I can't sleep is because we just finished up the live stream for the ACC championship game, Florida State versus Louisville. Florida State beats the Cardinals 16-6 with their third string quarterback. They found a way to get it done and they got the dub. They finished with an undefeated season. But immediately after that stream, we debated for almost an hour over who the four teams are going to be in the college football playoffs. And nobody could agree on number 3 and number 4. So I've been thinking about it, and I think that I have the 4. So what I'm going to do is make a prediction, and I want to get it up before the show tomorrow, before they make the announcement, obviously. And then what I want to do is see you critique mine and or put your top 4 down in the comments. And don't be shy. Like, it's just for fun. We're just trying to speculate and make some predictions, and we'll see who gets it right. Just keep in mind that with mine, I'm setting fandom to the side. So I understand that for a lot of Miami fans, of course, there's going to be a deep hatred for Florida State. So you don't want to see them in the playoffs, but fandom, emotions, all that stuff gets set to the side for me. If that's the way you want to approach it, that's fine. I'm just letting you know that's not the way I'm approaching it. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the college football playoff committee. And then I kind of want to say what I think it should be. And then it actually might be a little different from what my official prediction is and what I think they'll do. So I think we can all mostly agree that Michigan and Washington are a lock. I've got Michigan at number 1 and Washington at number 2. Both of those squads went undefeated and they won their conference championships. So I don't think that you can deny either of those teams. And again, I don't even necessarily think it's up for debate. As far as the number 3 and number 4 spot goes, Georgia losing today created a ton of chaos because you have an Alabama team that is a one-loss team, but then they take down the number 1 team in the country. We're talking about a Bulldogs team that won back-to-back national championships and was trying to three-peat this season. Alabama didn't destroy them. I mean, they only won by 3, but they did beat them. The issue here is that Texas beat Bama at Bama early on in the season. So does that mean, I know it doesn't work this way, but just bear with me for a moment. Bama beat Georgia, but Texas beat Bama. So does that put Texas ahead of both Bama and Georgia? Because then that makes Texas's win over Bama look even better for them. And I mean, Texas did win today, 49-21, but it was over a lesser opponent, arguably. I mean, Oklahoma State. Bama only won by 3, but it was the number 1 team in the country. I don't know. This is tough. And the argument here also is, does Florida State get snubbed? They're undefeated. They won the conference championship. How can you leave out an undefeated ACC team in the playoffs? How can you put any one-loss team above them? They literally didn't lose a game. So I think that I have come to a conclusion. I think that I have my top 4. But man, we went back and forth. You could really argue every side. Every angle here has a pretty valid argument. You can look at, of course, strength of schedule. Everybody's going to look at that. You're going to look at how you won in those games. You're going to look at if it was home or away. And I think the idea is that you can't put too much on what you're projecting the team to look like. So I don't know if this is the approach by the committee, but I don't think that it would be, hey, what do we think this team is going to do? Example here, what do we think Florida State is going to look like because they don't have Jordan Travis? They got to play their second or third string quarterback. because that's not necessarily fair. And this applies to all teams. I'm just using Florida State as an example because, well, they're the perfect example for this scenario. It's going to be based off of what they've accomplished during the season. And the reality is Florida State found a way to win, and they're currently undefeated. So does that put them above, again, any one-loss team? But then you also factor in, again, strength of schedule, how you won, by how much you won. There's so many different factors. And I'm just glad that I'm not on the college football playoff committee, number one. And number two, I'm glad that this stops next year. We needed expanded playoffs literally this year, but oh well, here we are. With that being said, again, I have Michigan at number one, Washington at number two, and then I have Texas at number three. Again, I think I put Texas at number three because you have to put them ahead of Bama because they beat Bama head-to-head. And I have Georgia out of the playoffs completely, by the way. I realize that that might sound kind of wild because they're only a one-loss team, but I feel like it's tough to put them in above Bama because Bama beat you in the conference championship. So if you're going to put Bama in, that means you have to also, or if you're going to put Georgia in, that means you have to put Bama in. So then that would be Michigan, Washington, Bama, Georgia. But then if you're going to put Bama in, it's tough to put Bama in when Texas beat them head-to-head at Bama. So that doesn't necessarily work. But then where does Florida State land? Because they didn't lose. So here's my official prediction. But then here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I think the committee does, and then here's what I also think it could be and what I think they should do. I know that's probably not fair, but you can do that as well if you want. Michigan, Washington, Texas at number three, and then I believe the committee possibly puts Bama at number four because it's tough for me to see a world where they do not try to squeeze an SEC team in the playoffs because the issue here is views matter. Money matters. And I understand that maybe it's not supposed to, but I still believe that it does. And I just don't see a world where they do no SEC team. And maybe they do. And that's wild to me to have both Texas and Bama in there. But that's what I think they do. I think they do Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama, and then Georgia, and then Florida State. That would be the order. So Georgia would be 5, and then Florida State would be 6. That's what I personally think they do. What I would like to see and what I think they should do is Michigan, Washington, Texas, Florida State. That's what I think they should do. I look, like I said, trust me, I don't like Florida State either. But how can you convince me that you can leave out an undefeated conference championship winning team and take away the quarterback stuff because we can't talk about future. It'd be what they did. Can you really leave them out? So I've got it. I know this might seem silly to some of you, but I put pen to paper. So I got it in writing here. Your boy Coop always keeping receipts. It's just for fun, though. It's just for fun, y'all. Michigan, Washington, Texas, and I think the committee says Bama. But I do see a world, and I do think it should be Michigan, Washington, Texas, Florida State. And I do think that they might also do that. Because, again, it's tough to leave out an undefeated team. The only reason why I think they would do it is because they want to get an SEC team in. And, I mean, Bama and Georgia are both very good football teams. I think Bama has done nothing but trend upwards towards the tail end of the season. They've looked better and better. And they hung with Georgia no problem and beat them. So Bama is a good football team. What makes this tough? Can I be honest? The one where I have Florida State on here? Tell me what you think about this. Florida State loses to every team that I have on this list, including the Bama in parentheses. Michigan beats them. Washington beats them. Texas beats them. And Bama beats them. I know it's not how it works, but I just want to say that if they had Jordan Travis, they do stand a chance. Their defense helps keep them in all those games. Do they have the offensive firepower with their second and third string quarterback to beat any of these playoff teams? I do not think so. No, I don't think they do. So for that reason, do they do Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama? I just think that's wild to leave out an undefeated conference champion. I really do. But Bama's good. Georgia's good. Georgia's out, though. I really think Georgia's out. Because, again, that doesn't work. You put Georgia in. You put Bama in. You put Bama in. Texas has to be in. But then that means you got to remove Michigan or Washington, which does not work. Hey. I'm glad it ain't me. I'm glad it's not me. Let me know your predictions. That's mine, though. That's what I'm going to stand firm with. And we'll find out. I wanted to put this up late tonight because we're going to find out tomorrow at noon. I'll either be live or I'll post a video about it. It depends because I can't sleep. So can I be up by noon to go live? I don't know. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.